Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hey, happy new year. I know there's a video that came out before, but it was pre-recorded. This is the first video that I have done in 2022. We're coming back strong, better than ever. And in today's video, I have a very special someone that I love and adore, who inspires me in all ways, Erica Mbanda.
Yay!
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the channel. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Can you tell?
I'm excited too. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Okay,
it's a
say
pleasure.
hi to
Hi
people.
everyone. So my name is Erica Mbanda. I'm a mompreneur. I have 2 kids and a business called Mukati Nabata. Eat okay?
Eat your treats, people. Dessert every time.
There's joy in every crumb. That's the tagline.
Oh, yeah. She's a wife. She didn't mention that, but I'm gonna say that.
Sorry,
for you.
Junior. I'm a wife. Shout out to my
By
husband,
the way,
Junior.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so happy to have you. I don't even know how to contain my excitement. Like, it's just too much. Guys, if you're wondering, I slid into the DM. Have you had stories of people who like end up getting married and then just met online? They slid. Yeah,
Exactly. You have to be bold and just go out there like that. So.
I mean, I was so nervous. I was like, but she was so sweet, by the way. She's the sweetest human being ever. So in today's video, we are coming to you with everything, all things marriage, all things motherhood, no specific title or whatsoever. We're giving it all, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you're new here, my name is Peace Mwiza. Welcome to the space where we talk about all things marriage, all things motherhood, lifestyle, and all the fun stuff. So today, as you have seen, we have the amazing lady who is going to tell us everything marriage, everything motherhood.
Okay.
You ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay. So you started off by telling us you were a mother, you were a wife, you have a business. So how do you balance work, life, and 2 babies? How do you do that?
It's a great question. I think I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm not even going to pretend like I have it all figured out. I really think that it's just been a journey. I think one thing is just like really going back to your values and like what's really important to you.
Yeah.
And for me, family is so important to me. Like that's the, it's God and then it's family.
Yeah.
And family is kind of, if anything it interferes with that, then something's off, right?
Yeah.
It's a no-no. So for me, it's really about family being the most important. I have 2 adorable kids, love them so much. I think in that journey it's just been really trying to realize to have grace for yourself because you're not always going to be perfect at everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, my family is my number one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's times that, in my business, things are so crazy, so busy, and I'm spending so many hours and I don't get time with my children or I don't spend time with my husband. And so just realizing that to have grace for yourself. And I think work-life balance is not about having equal parts, like 50% work, 50% family. Sometimes, your family takes, precedent and you spend a lot more hours there. And your work, you're just getting through. And then others, you're spending a lot of time at work and at family. It's not as much time, but that doesn't mean that you're not prioritizing your family at the end of the day. So I think it's just having a lot of grace for myself and trying to get rid of that mom guilt that always wants to creep in. And just knowing that I'm doing the best. I know that mom guilt is
It's
something,
real,
right?
it's hard.
And it's like, that you shouldn't have it. You're like, tell myself not to have it, but it still just, creeps in and it's hard. So I think that balance is just making sure that I'm checking in and like how's it going with the family? Am I spending time with the family and spending time with my kids? Am I spending time for myself?
Double checking everything.
Exactly. That temperature check every week to see how things are going. And
in my opinion, I don't believe in balance because I mean, it's not the reality of life. Sometimes this week you will be more there for your family, and the other week or the other day more into work. So it's really hard to balance. But I personally believe in quality. Like if you've talked of mom guilt. Like, I think I have a video out about how I express my mom guilt and all. I'll leave a link. Check it out. But since then, I have evolved from that because I've learned to put my all at that particular time.
Yeah.
If I'm with my baby, I'm going to give my all.
Yes.
Quality time, quality everything.
Yes.
The little time that I have, I will spend it with him.
Yes.
And then when I'm not there, or it's self-care day, it will be my time. Please, no phone calls. Excuse me, is he dying? He's not dying, so leave me alone.
Yes. It's so true. You're so
If it is work, I'm working. Like before I leave for work, I make sure I have have I done absolutely everything that I have to do?
Yeah.
If it's a yes, then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's balance for me.
Exactly.
Like I've given my all. When I'm supposed to be here, I am here. I am present.
Yes.
If it's time with my husband, I am there with him.
Yeah.
I am present in the moment. Even if an hour or two we're talking, even if 30 minutes, it's all it takes. Yeah. And then you feel like you're fulfilled. Like you get to that balance. But it's never, as you've said, never 50-50.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. No, and I think the key thing that you said is really just the quality over quantity, right? And being present, because you can be home all day with your children, but you're not actually spending quality time with them, right? Because you're so busy. I'm trying to juggle too many things at the same time, and so balance can be misconstrued as like multitasking and doing so many things at one time, but you're really not actually present for your children at that time, or your husband, or yourself. If you really have self-care, it's making sure that you're really taking that time out and you're not doing anything else.
Yeah, it's just
right?
me time. Yeah. Talking of self-love and time for yourself, how do you recharge? How do you spend your me time? How do you do that?
So I love journaling. I love writing. Like it's a way of me just kind of processing all my emotions. I'm sure you guys know, I write everything. I put everything out there. Not everything, but I put a lot out there.
Yeah.
But it's
we
just
have read.
It's just a way for me to just share and one to just process kind of like what's going on in life. It's a stress reliever for me and just writing. So I love writing and journaling. I love worship music. I love singing. So
Will you give us a freestyle?
If you're lucky, maybe.
Yeah.
But I love singing, and so I just blast on my worship music and just like worship and pray, and so that's really like my me time. I love getting my nails done.
Yes.
I can't say I like getting my hair done because I don't like spending all those hours in the salon. Because I'm like, I could be more productive at this time.
Yeah.
But I love getting my nails done.
I just like,
sometimes I think I need to just
no, please don't. I'm that person like, oh my God, your hair is so nice, but I'll be the one cutting mine. But like, keep yours for me, please. I need to see that hair.
It's nice until you have to start doing it. Then you're just like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love to pamper myself. So massages, facials.
Yeah.
Part of my self-care too is just like going out with a girlfriend and just talking. I love talking. And no offense, but sometimes my husband doesn't like, all the patience of listening to me talk. So it's so important to have girlfriends in your life that you can just sit and just chat with and just have a good time. So
that's so nice.
Those are a few of my things.
Okay. So the other day we were out talking and it was the first time I think we met in person. Yeah. So one of the things we talked about was you working out. And I remember you saying it's one of the things you enjoy doing. So I know you've all seen her work out, like, that mom, but I feel like I want to... What?
Just get some of my muscles, they're not there yet, but they're coming.
I don't see, sorry, I was so distracted.
They're coming. Hashtag unique.
Yeah. You challenged me that day that working out is not all about the body and everything's also about the mind.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when mamas give birth and you gain all this weight, when they see someone working out, I think the number one thing is they're trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
So what's your take on working out? You love doing it. It's something you enjoy doing. So what can you say about working out?
Yeah. So I've been working out for a long time. I was an athlete in high school and in college. So I've always enjoyed. Yeah. Oh. I've always enjoyed working out. And for me, it's really, I should have mentioned that, and actually a self-care thing, because it's kind of my me time. It's a time for me to just I don't know. I feel like it helps just like my mental state and emotional state. And there's something about the endorphins that like working out gives you. So I know, especially after I gave birth to my daughter, I really struggled a lot, like around like month 4 or 5, and I had postpartum anxiety. Really bad.
Oh, wow. We should get to that.
We'll get to that, I think, later. So just to loop back to the working out. But I really struggled and I had a hard time. And I remember even doing a post about this, but when I really started working out, I also struggled too with like the changes that my body had changed so much drastically. And just like having a baby from like, you know, your pregnancy, gaining weight, but I gained a lot of my weight after I gave birth.
Yeah.
So I actually lost all my weight, and then I gained all my weight around month 3, 4, 5. It just started packing on.
Oh, yeah.
And I got to the heaviest that I had ever been. So I was very down on myself. Like I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like my body. I didn't like how I felt. Like, and so there was a lot of that. But I felt like the most thing that took the toll was just like my mental state and just how I was. And so when I started working out, for me, it was more like, I just want to feel like I've gotten back into like some kind of control, because I felt like my eating was out of it was so crazy. I had no control over that. It reflected in my personal life and my relationship with my husband, all of that. And so it was just like, this is something that I have a choice. Like I have a choice that I'm going to go.
You have?
I have a choice.
Yes.
I have that choice.
Yes.
There's no one else, right? And so it was empowering to know, like, I have this decision to make. Like, I want to show up and go for this workout, to persevere through it. And the biggest thing that did that month was like, it just really shifted my whole like mindset. And I saw the like some of the depression start to go, some of the anxiety start to go, in just me like, you know, working
about
out.
Yourself again, and loving yourself
and
again.
I told myself, I'm not gonna focus on the scale. I don't want to look at the scale. I don't want to look at how I look or the clothes that I want to get into. I really just want to start with my mind first. And in doing that and focusing on that, everything else came, and it was great. Like, of course, I'm not gonna lie. I did like that I could get back into my jeans.
Of course,
I did like that I was dropping the pounds.
Enjoys the results. I mean, okay, in working out, I have a brother who is crazy and obsessed about working out. Like, he tries to inspire me, but I'm not good with working out. I should do better. But the thing is, he always says that if working out, when you go into working out and you put your mind first, as you've said, that's all. It's a win-win either way. Because if you go into it, think about your body. Okay, you if you don't lose the weight, look at the scales, you get more depressed. You're like, I'm wasting all this time.
Disappointed. What's the point?
What's the point? You end up giving up. But if you go into it with a mindset like, I'm gonna work on my mind first. Like, he always tells me it's the way for him to recharge and like de-stress and like not think about anything else, but just him and like sweat it out. So he's like, if you lose the weight, it's a win. If you don't, it's still a win, because
you still win.
you still win.
You're still doing something great for yourself.
And it's really hard. I feel like mamas do put pressure on themselves, mostly after giving birth. We gain all this weight. Snapping back and everything. But I feel like if we switch it to the mind instead of the body, it's gonna be a win-win game. Like, it's either way, you feel good about yourself, you feel energetic, but again, you'll also mentally you'll be there. You'll be there. You'll be back into your old self. So that's a very beautiful thing. I think I'm inspired.
You ready to go to the gym?
No, I mean, do I have to go to the gym?
You don't have to go to the gym. No.
Yes.
No. You don't have to. There's so many ways to get that in without having to go to the gym.
So going to the gym is not my thing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. As much as I want to lose the weight, I want to be in the beta mental state and everything, I think I should look for something that I enjoy. Also, that's something you should think about. Look for something you feel like works for you.
Exactly.
And you're gonna feel comfortable doing it.
Exactly. And you have to enjoy it. Like, it has to be
that's
fun
the word,
too. Because at the end of the day, working out for me is fun. I die. I struggle. But it's still fun. Like, it's my time. I love the challenge. I'm so competitive, so I like compete with myself. I'm like, Erica, you could do better. You could do this, you know? So it's something that's fun. So find what works for you. It could be dancing, it could be going on a walk. It could I mean, there's so many things to get you active and help with your mind.
No, I'm gonna do better. She's inspiring me to do better. So also the other thing, I mean, I used to love dancing. I don't know what happened.
A dancer. So I'm gonna sing and you're gonna dance. We're gonna give them a show.
Oh wow.
You said it.
Let's keep her on the channel. Let's keep her. I'm gonna dance. She's gonna sing. I mean, no promises, but we shall see how this works out.
There you go.
Please watch till the end. You never know. Stick with us. Eh? So the next thing I feel like we should talk about. The people want to know. If I say people, it's people is me.
Okay.
You have openly shared on your stories, on your page. If you don't follow her on Instagram, I'll leave her handle. By the way, what are you doing? If you want all the tea, follow her. I have followed her for a very long time. That she even inspired me to start this YouTube channel, by the way. Yeah, I think we talked about that as like you're inspiring me, and I know she has inspired a lot of people out there. Like the way she openly shared her experiences, I would relate so much. And I'm like, you know what? She shares her experience and has helped me. So I think if I share mine, it'll help somebody else out there. I think that's how, among other reasons, but I know that it was the push that I needed to do the whole thing. So yeah, back to what I was saying. You openly share your journey of counseling openly on social media. Where I come from, the society that I come from, when somebody says counseling, marriage counseling to be specific, they feel like there's trouble in paradise. Yeah. So, but you
Trouble in paradise, I like that.
trouble in paradise. Yeah. I mean, you guys are goals. You and your. Yeah, I was gonna say, don't come for me. I have my own. Okay.
I'm not coming for you. Don't worry.
I'm gonna say this handsome husband. I was like, babe, I love you. You're the only one. I'm just complimenting someone else's husband. Eh? Yeah. So you guys are like everything. I know people call you couple goals. I'm one of them. But I know that I believe in putting in work in marriage. Yeah. So let me let you shed more light on the marriage counseling. Like, why do you think marriage counseling is a good thing? I mean, when should you go for marriage counseling? Some of us feel like, oh, karabai. Yeah, and I know you've also heard that, like, you know. So tell us, counseling, marriage counseling, what's that about?
Yeah. So first, a lot of people don't know about this because I don't think I shared a whole lot, but I'm actually a licensed counselor. So I did my master's in counseling. I did it for like 3 years, and then I just stopped. I went into some other things. Okay. But it's still something that's very dear to my heart. It's something that's like really helped me in just like my personal journey and growing up.
Counseling, like what type of counseling?
So I did counseling with kids is the first thing that I did. So I did counseling with kids, and then I worked with women and like traumatic circumstances that happen with women. So
you're psych.
I guess so. I can't read minds though. Don't ask me if I can read your mind.
Okay.
But, so it's something that's always been like, I know that there's a stigma with counseling, but it's something that I've always done like all my life. I was very fortunate to meet my husband, and before we got married, actually, we both were very adamant about really trying to understand each other, like our personalities, how they work together. How can we make sure that we have like a good marriage, and knowing that it doesn't just happen, like this honeymoon phase that we're in and dating, and you know, we love each other, everything, oh, so exciting, and we're gonna get married.
Talk about it.
We knew that like marriage and life itself is gonna have its own challenges, and when you're two very different people, which we are, like how does that work? And so, you know, before we got married, we even did a session. We did like psychometric tests to just understand our personalities, how they work together, where are some of the challenges. We did like a bunch of different like marriage counseling videos, like pre-work videos, just the two of us. And so it's something that we were like, we really want to invest and make sure that, you know, we're going to have like a good marriage and put in the work. Marriage. And it's not something that just like comes. So that was before marriage, right? And then reality hits, right? You get married, you go through your honeymoon phase, and then when I say the first year of our marriage was one of the toughest, it was really hard. It was really hard. And like everyone sees like they have fun together and everything's so great and perfect. But like the reality was we realized how different we were, right? Our communication styles are different. Our personalities are different. When we go through hard things, we respond very differently. We've done a test. There's a test out there called How We Love. And it's talking about different love styles, which I recommend for every married couple.
Is the
and
book?
you take this, it's a love quiz. So there is a book, How We Love, but you can take this quiz that talks about your love style.
Grab your book.
How We Love.
And pen. Piece of paper and pen, please write it. I'm with a counselor here, so please. Sorry.
But so you take the love quiz, and then it tells you like what your personality, what your love style is. So in short, you guys will look into it more. But for myself, I'm a vacillator, which means that I'm a very emotional person.
Can I get like a link to the post?
Yes, I'll share that with you.
You said something.
There's a love quiz. So you can get a link to the quiz, which is free.
Okay.
You can take it, your husband, your partner, like even if you're not married, you can do it in just a relationship or just for yourself.
My people, hi subscribers. By the way, did I tell you we hit 1K?
That is amazing. Okay, that's amazing.
Like, can you have that effect of like...
I'll be the effect.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you.
That's amazing. No, 1K. That's huge. That's
so we shall get the link. I'll make sure she gets the link for me, and I'll put in the description box for you guys to check out the quiz.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you did the quiz.
So we did the quiz. We did this recently, actually. It hasn't been very long, but I'm just taking you back to like that first year of marriage, why it was so turbulent and it was so hard. And it was because now looking back, we're able to see like how we have completely different love styles, right? And so I'm a vacillator. I have a difficult time regulating my emotions. I'm very emotional. I really want like human connection. And my husband is an avoider. So I'm like, hey, hey. He's like, leave me alone. So you can see how
opposites
in hard times, opposites attract, but then also in hard times, like you realize how opposite you are, and you're like, you know. So that first year was hard. It was very hard. We were really lucky to have like some mentor couples. We had made that decision before we got married that we wanted mentor couples to really, a couple that we admire and that we see that they've put in the work in their marriage, and we see that like they have the same values as us.
Like more accountability partners.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so they're an older couple married, and so for us, like we would meet with them as a couple and just like talk, you know, just kind of build that relationship. But then also when I struggled and like I needed to talk to someone, I would go to the wife and I would share with her like what was going on. And so it's really just having a trusted couple that you can go and you could share everything that's going on, you know, in your marriage.
So I mean,
and it just gives you an avenue to, I really feel like we shouldn't be going through and doing marriage alone, because there's things that happen and then you really isolate. You feel like, okay, this is only like our problem, right? Or he's the only issue, or I'm the issue. And then you look outside at other couples and you just like fantasize and like, oh man, like if only I'd married someone like that, I'd be so much happier, you know? And so I feel like it's just being vulnerable about like what's going on.
And I feel like if someone knows they're going through the same thing as you, it's more relieving. You're like, okay, I'm the only person. So
exactly. Yeah, it doesn't feel so like isolating. I think the key there is to really find people that you trust, that you can share with, right? It doesn't have to be a professional, and this wasn't a professional. This is just a couple that we wanted to build a relationship with. They're much older. They'd been married for a long time. They have kids, and we were just like, we want to do life with you. Right? So we want to do life with you guys, and you guys to know our marriage and like what's going on when we have fights. And it really helped, because for me, I was like, I don't want to run to my mom or my dad like every time we have a fight or something goes on, right? I don't think that's really appropriate, because those things are going to happen. You're going to have disagreements. And so you need to be able to figure out how to like navigate and to talk through those things. So it was a rough year, but we had the mentor couple, which was great. I think when we actually really started marriage counseling, we did like sessions every now and then, but at that time it was kind of like SOS, like we were like, help, we're in a big fight, we're in a big crisis, we need to go and talk to someone. But then we realized that we want to have a good marriage, and we want to work on our communication. We want to work on like how different we are and what that looks like. And so for me, I truly believe that like counseling is not, you don't go to counseling when things are bad. You go to counseling even when things are good.
Like
because that's what helps. Exactly, that's what helps like keep it good and fresh and fun. You understand each other. You have more grace for each other. And for me, it's like you go to counseling not, you know, I know a lot of times it's like we want to go to counseling like, counselor, fix my husband. He is the problem, right? Or the husband's like, if you could only fix her, you know, she's too emotional, whatever, like everything is going to be great. And the reality is when you go into counseling, like you're only fixing yourself, right? You realize actually, you know, you actually see a different side of yourself. You hear a different perspective of like how when you respond, how does it impact your husband, vice versa. You realize unintentionally you're hurting each other. And that really brings a lot of closeness. And it brings
also gives you time
like
to like evaluate yourself, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Me. As you said, you're working on yourself. So if you're doing better, maybe the other person also works on themselves, hence the happy couple goals.
Exactly. And you know, it's not always like, sometimes there's one person that's putting in more work. You know, there's one person that's like working more on themselves, the other person may be a bit more resistant. But when you have consistency and you keep working yourself, one, you're going to have more joy yourself, right? Because that's something you can control. And sometimes the effects of that ends up slowly changing the heart of the other person, right? Or vice versa. So there's times where Junior is really on his like, you know, he's working on himself, and I'm just over here being selfish and like I want attention and this and that, and then I'm like, whoa, Erica, check yourself, you know, like what's going on here. So it you know, it's like it's not always equal, you know. And I know a lot of people will say that like, well, what if my husband doesn't want to put in the work, or what if my wife doesn't want to put in the work and I do? That doesn't eliminate you putting in the work for yourself, because that's what you have control over.
So that really, I mean, puts a nail in what I like to say, that choose your happiness, because sometimes we rely on other people to make us happy. When I say other people, I mean our spouses, to make us happy, to make us whole. Like you need this attention. It doesn't know me before I got married. Oh, I'm an attention seeker. Even my brother makes fun of me. My friends make fun of me. They're like, oh, you like attention. Wanna pay the attention. But I've learned to dial it down a little bit, because I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna get the fulfillment that I want from somebody else. It has to come from within. So it's really, so consider counseling as for you, working on yourself. Wow.
I'm still learning. I'm still on that journey of learning as well. But I mean, Junior and I made the commitment to continue counseling. We don't always get it right. Sometimes we take, you know, things are so good and we're just like,
do we need to go?
We stop going, and then all of a sudden something happens, we're like, we need to go.
Oh, wow.
But I really feel like it's just a good maintenance check. And it's something that brings you closer together. And something that helps you really understand, you know, there's somebody else that is not attached, is not intertwined into the arguments and everything, that can kind of step back and see your husband. How are you guys communicating to each other? Are you guys using I statements, you know? And it just really helps.
Oh, wow.
It really, really helps. I'm a huge advocate for counseling. And just because you're going to counseling does not mean there's anything wrong with you.
There's
anything wrong with your couple. And if there is something wrong with your couple, that's okay. You know, there's been times that we've gone through hardships. And I know sometimes it's like, don't air out your dirty laundry. I'm not trying to say like you put everything out there. But also there's something about being real, that in marriage, it's not always perfect and happy and amazing. There are challenges, there are disagreements, but that's part of life, and that's actually what brings you closer together.
That's really nice. Okay, as we're still under the whole marriage counseling and everything, what are the things that surprised you about marriage? Oh, I heard you did the whole pre-counseling, you did the whole, you know, check before you got married. So now that you're into the marriage, besides the counseling and all, okay, before the counseling, of course, there was a little bit, and you're like, you know what, we need to talk to someone. So what are the things that surprised you? They may be good or bad, I don't know. Okay, it's more expectations and reality kind of question. But what are the things that didn't tell you about marriage, and when you're into it, you're like, whoa, hold on.
That's a good one. I think what I'll say is that the things that attracted me to Junior before we were married, right? I was like, man, he's so confident. He's so like he takes like high risk, you know, puts himself out there. You know, there's so many things that I was just like, man, this is so attractive. I love it, right?
Yeah.
Because it was opposite of like, I'm risk averse. I'm like, I don't want to take high risk.
Yeah.
And so when I saw him doing that, I was like really, you know, really like drawn to that. Now what happened is in marriage, right? And you're always together and now you're making decisions together. And so like the way he does things is not necessarily how I did things. Yeah. But like dating, I was like, oh man, that's my man, you know? Like, I was so attracted to that. And then in marriage, it now became the source of like a lot of fights and conflicts. And sometimes I'm just like, man, like if he could just stop, you know, doing this and doing that or whatever. Like one thing, he's also super generous, you know? And then in marriage, like sometimes you're maybe trying to tighten in the belt or whatever. And you're just like, if he could just stop taking you out for coffee or doing this and that. Yeah. And so what I realized is that, you know, some of the things that you love, like when you get into marriage, when things get hard, you forget like why you really love that. And if you can go back to the why you actually love that and what you saw, I think it helps. It helps to kind of like give you a new perspective. Right? And so sometimes I'm like angry and like bitter and frustrated. And then I realize, but wait, these are actually the qualities that I wanted.
I know, right?
This is the thing that drew me to him, you know? And so it kind of
makes me so happy because I relate to this so much. Like, I mean, I know, you've heard me say the things you love. Sometimes I'm like, the generosity, before like, oh my God, he's so generous. Oh my God, he's so nice. I'm like, can you stop? Like, or
you're like, am I stingy? I don't think I was stingy.
Or the being nice, or is helping somebody else, or is going like, can't you stay home just for one weekend? Like, no, I have to help so-and-so. So-and-so has a wedding. And you're like, oh my God. As you've said, you have to like give yourself a check. And you're like, you know what? I love this about this person. So, yeah. It brings you back.
Yeah. I think the other thing is, you know, when we were dating, it's like Junior always wanted to like impress me. And like, I also wanted to impress him. You know, you kind of have both of those sides. And I think what happened, one of the biggest things that I learned in marriage is that Junior can't read my mind. He cannot read my mind.
You heard her.
He cannot read my mind. I wish he could. It would make me so much easier.
I know.
But like, if I want something, if I'm upset about, like, I have to communicate that. I have to share that. No matter how hard it is or how vulnerable it is for me, like, I have to do that because he can't read my mind. And if I continue thinking that he can read my mind, and I'm assuming that, right, it's going to be the source of so many conflicts. Yeah. And in dating, I think for me, it was just like, everything was so great, you know, like he's impressing me, he's doing this, he's doing that, and how did he know to do that? How did he think of this? How did he get me that gift? You know? Yeah. And so then you kind of, at least for me, I just thought this was going to continue, right? But the reality was, like, he can't read my mind. So if I don't communicate or articulate what it is that I want or what it is that I need, then I can't fault him. He's not a mind reader.
Besides, men are chasers. That he was chasing you. He had to like think outside the box, do even the research. Sometimes when guys rely maybe like their sisters or their female friends, they're like, okay, you are a lady. What should I do? But now you're already married. He's like, no, it was a project. I don't know.
A project. No, they should. Men, continue chasing your wives.
I know.
You know? It's good.
It's beautiful because sometimes I feel like women are more emotional beings. Yeah, they appreciate the emotional. I'm gonna speak out of my experience or what I think my opinion is. I feel like women are more of they appreciate emotional intimacy more than the guys. The guys, you know, one of the things they look forward to when they're getting married is the physical intimacy. But the women, I feel like the emotional part of it. So now it's really hard. Guys tend to like slack. The woman becomes resentful and everything. So there's a video coming up on self-regulation, whereby you should know how to control or having the ability to control your emotions and your behavior. I feel like that's what makes the marriage work. Otherwise, trouble. Trouble.
It's so true. So true. For me, I didn't know, or I wasn't like prepared for. There's so many other things too, but I feel like it's a journey. Like each year I get to unlock like new things about myself. I get to unlock new things about Junior. And that's what continue making our relationship beautiful and fun because it's not boring. It's not like the same every single year.
Yeah. This is your life. This is a forever thing.
Yeah.
You just have to make it
You
work.
are stuck with me, Junior. You're stuck. Don't leave
you
me.
Put a ring on it.
You put a ring on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the fun part, I mean, people should normalize having fun in marriages. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's why we all couple goals, you guys. Because I feel like you guys have so much fun and like, oh my God, it's all every marriage like that. Oh my God, I want that. Oh my God, I want that. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good thing. Yeah. But as you've said, it takes work, working on yourself.
And intentionality. Like,
being intentional.
We can go weeks where we don't have fun with each other because we're so busy in our own worlds. And it really requires being intentional.
Oh, wow.
You have to be intentional about having fun together, creating those space. Yeah. Right? If you're aggravated and upset with each other, it's very difficult to laugh and have fun together. So, like, we were really tasked with, like, how do we have good time? And sometimes the things that he likes, movies he likes, are not the same movies that I like. Absolutely. So, like, what is something that's going to bring us together and that we're going to have fun doing? Yeah. And as I think you guys have seen, like, we enjoy doing videos together.
Yes.
And so that's something. Comedy, playing games, like cards. So you have to have fun. Like, this is your best friend.
I know.
You need to keep things light as well.
Best friend.
Yeah.
Marry your best friend, eh? I don't know if you're comfortable talking about this, but we're going to tackle finances. Yeah. Finances is a very, very wide and big topic or a big thing in marriage. So, of course, we shall be sharing in your experience, in my experience. You know, everybody's experience is different in finances. So, what is your take in finances, like in marriage? Like, is it your money is your money? His money is our money. Like, you know, how do you, I mean, manage the finances in your marriage, budgeting and all that? Like, tell us. We'd love to know.
So we both have kind of the same perspectives. This is something that we actually talked about even before getting married.
Yeah. So talking about it before.
I think it's important.
Yeah.
Because you can, and there's a lot of things. That's what I'm saying. Like, even some of the questions that we tackled and we asked ourselves through the premarital counseling was so important, because sometimes you go into marriage with these expectations of, like, this is how they do things too. This is how we did things in my family. This is how we're going to do things in my family with my husband, right? Yeah. But then you realize how you have different values, different ways that you saw your parents do it, and that is so powerful. Like, how you were brought up in your family. A lot of times is kind of how some things you take from that that you want to bring into your family, some things that you don't want to bring into your family. So for both of us, it was important for us to share. Like, it's what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. Although I like to also say what's mine is mine, what's his is mine. Yeah, but it's a joke, because at the end of the day, for us and our family, and this is just a personal thing, like, we wanted to have everything together. Yeah. We're building everything together. What I brought in is also his. And so when we got married, like, we opened up a joint account and we put everything in there together. Now, that doesn't mean, I do believe that there has to be freedom in, like, if I want to buy something, I don't always have to go and, like, Junior, can I get this? Right? Or Junior comes to me, like, can I get this? And so I think that for us, it was important to, like, have that freedom to be able to spend when we wanted to.
But intentionally, I believe.
Yeah, but we talked about that too. Okay. So, like, part of that was, like, creating a budget together. Like, this is our budget. So all our money goes into a joint account. I have my own separate account. He also has his own separate account. So everything goes into the joint account. We now have an allowance for spending money that we have every month, which we agree on. It doesn't have to be the same. It could be different. As women, we have, like, I heard this from Steve Harvey, actually. We have a maintenance fee. Right?
Yes.
Like, because I'm like, out of my spending money, I can't be doing my nails, doing my hair, buying my makeup. Like, it's all going to go. I'm going to have thing to do, right? Where he just has to get his hair cut.
I know.
But, so you create your budget, whatever works for you, and that's what we did. Like, we had our money all go in one account. We had our allowances for every month that we had, and that money, you can spend it how you want, no questions, right? If I decide that I'm going to stock up and, like, save up $5,000 and then I go buy a Louis Vuitton or whatever, like, that's my prerogative. I can do that.
Okay.
But we talk about that. And I think for me, the most important thing about that was just transparency and feeling like I could really trust. Yeah, so it was about
Sorry.
transparency, keeping honesty in the marriage, and really fully trusting him. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have a joint account to have transparency. You can still have separate accounts if that's your thing. But I think that in marriage you should be able to communicate and to talk about, you know, what you have. For me, it was like the moment that I feel like I can't share this part with him. I feel like I'm not able to be my full true self, or to, you know, this is my person. I want to share everything. So that's just us personally. But yeah, everything goes in one boat. We budget together. We dream together. So we want to build a house. This is how we're going to go for that. We want to do family vacations. We're going to budget and set some money. So we have a lot of accounts actually. But the main thing is for us, everything comes in together. Be transparent, talk about it, and it's
so my take home is you talk about it even before you get married, so that you can know. It's a very sensitive.
It's a very sensitive topic.
Yeah, it is a very
for sure.
Yeah, so it's hard to have the conversations after. Yeah, because as you've said, I feel like when you can talk about finances in your marriage, you're good. Yeah. I feel like you're good. Yeah. Because I mean,
but it can still be a stress and a source of tension, even when you talk about it, right? Because the way I tend to be more like frugal. I don't want to like spend on certain things, but then I can splurge on things, right? So like I like nice things in my house. I might buy things for the kids or whatever. And so some things that I might go buy a really expensive fridge, for instance, right? Yeah. And Junior's like, you gonna spend how much on a fridge? Why? Right? Yeah. And maybe like for him, he might want to go buy like a car or something. I don't know. And I'm like, how are you gonna spend that money on a car? Like why? Yeah. Like what is that gonna serve us? So I think you still have very different ways of like how you view money, how you spend money. Yeah. And so that's always, but if you have open communication, you don't always have to agree. Yeah, but just like respect the other person and what their views are and their values with that, and talk about it. The transparency is key. Yeah, for sure. Transparency is key, people. You heard her. You heard her.
Yeah, wow. I mean, well, don't forget, I put up a post on my IG. Again, if you don't follow me, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Where is your life at?
Follow.
Yes. Yeah, and I asked you guys to ask you questions, because I told you we're going to be shooting this video tonight. And you sent in a few, which we shall get to, so don't go anywhere. Are you bored? Should we stop here? Should we do a part 2?
We're not boring. Are we boring?
Please let me know. Let me know when you get to this part if we are boring in the comment section. So yeah, we have tackled marriage, at least to an extent. So let's do motherhood.